What is going on, everybody? My name is Keegan. I hope you're having an incredible day so far. Today I'm sitting on the front end of my BMW. No, not because it broke already, but because I'm trying to prevent it from breaking. So right now I've got the whole engine kind of torn apart. Not the whole engine, but just the top half to get to the spark plug. So I've already got one of these out. I wasn't going to go through the trouble of showing you guys the whole process. I'm not trying to do any sort of install videos, trying to teach you guys anything, but I do want to document the process and show you guys how you can save a little bit of money if your car needs some maintenance. Now, although this car is not the easiest to work on, it's truly better than, you know, going and spending triple, quadruple, whatever you might be spending to do this exact same job by yourself for like $100. So I'm starting with the spark plugs. If I have time, I'm gonna do a coolant flush, and then the very last thing, which I probably won't end up getting to today, is the transmission pan, the transmission fluid. I'm just checking that out because it does have a little bit of a leak there. That's really the only place that I've noticed anything a little bit problematic. So I also do want to say that I finally got some better lights for here in the garage. So that's been helping as far as actually working on the car, but also I figured that would prove pretty helpful for making these videos. So I wanted to show you a little bit of the difference between the two spark plugs. So this is what they've been looking like so far. Now, they don't look absolutely horrible, but you can tell that it is running a bit hot. Now, I mean, I don't really see anything too problematic in this, but I've already got it all torn apart. I might as well replace them while I'm in here. I did notice that they do say NGK on them, so I don't know if that means they've already been replaced, but not sure when the next time I'll pull up the camera is, because I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of what they look like before I change them out. Of course, the new ones are just super clean, look like they've never been used, so I might as well do it, save myself another, you know, 50, 80,000 miles until I have to do this again. So let's get back into it. And just like that, all of these spark plugs are finally out. Now, looking at them, they're all honestly pretty even, where I know on some cars you'll have, you know, some cylinders that are running a little bit more lean or more rich than others, but these all look to be just about the same, which is pretty good. I was actually looking at them a little bit more, and I don't know if they have been changed before. Although they are NGKs, maybe this one happened to come with these, I'm really not sure. But I've got some OEM replacements here, no really reason to go any colder on it. So the hardest part of this whole process was back here on this back right side. Now, if you happen to have a BMW and are finding this video because of that, I'm sure you'll already know if you found an actual install video, but all of these hoses and everything really inhibit your ability to get to the back two spark plugs. The rest of them are not horrible. The other backside really isn't as bad as the other one, but altogether I would honestly say that, you know, this is about a 6 or 7 out of 10 on difficulty. You know, it's not the easiest thing in the world, but once again, you're saving yourself hundreds of dollars by doing this, and it's really only been about an hour and a half so far for me. So finally into the easiest part, just dropping in the new ones, tightening them up. But before that, I have to go run out and get a spark plug gauge just to make sure that these are all good the way that they came. So that's all I need. The next clip that you see, I should have the motor entirely back together. All the spark plugs should be in there. I'll give it a little startup, make sure everything's good, and then we'll get into the radiator and get it draining. It's really not gonna be too hard of a thing, and from there, we'll see if I do have time to get everything else done today too. So I know I said that in the next clip it would most likely be all back together, but I didn't want to put it all together if, you know, just in case one of the spark plugs that I got was bad, just in case one of the coil packs got mixed up or anything like that. So I'm about to do the very first startup. I'm gonna wait for Ashley to get out here so that she can kind of give me the A-OK, and I'm also going to be putting it up on some ramps. That way I can get under the car and do this coolant flush. Then I'll get it off of there, put it all finally back together. There we go. Correct hand. Hey! Sure she runs good. Since I don't have any of the other air intake stuff hooked up, I probably won't let it run for too long, but sounds like nothing ever even happened. It's how it should be. The only thing I noticed so far is that it does seem a little bit hesitant whenever I'm giving it some gas, so we'll see once I finally get to drive it and take it around the block once I've got the new coolant and everything in there, but so far so good. So it was extremely difficult to film under the car, but I was able to get what I seem to see as the lowest possible radiator hose off to drain the coolant system. Now, it only was on one side, so I don't know if that means that there's gonna be some left on the other side of the system, and it wasn't a huge hose or anything, so I'm also a little bit concerned because whenever this drained out, from what I had read, it said that there should be about 2 gallons in the system, and I don't know if you guys can see because it's sloshing, but it's barely even above half a gallon whenever it is finally resting. So I don't know if it was just super low. Like I said, I never had any sort of heat issues or anything, so it makes me seem to think that there should be some more in there, and you can also tell from the color that it's pretty gross, and what was dripping out a lot was just mainly water, and where I'm at, I definitely need some antifreeze in the system. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix it up, start pouring some in there, and hopefully it'll take, you know, over a gallon, almost 2 gallons to finally fill up this whole system if I did get it all drained like I hope. So we've got our distilled water, and we've got our antifreeze. Let's go ahead and mix it up. Antifreeze is all in. Now, I did not expect it to be such a dark blue color. I figured that was because the old stuff in the car was nice and dirty. But if we go back over here, didn't really give you a great look, but that looks almost the same. So at least I know I drained the right spot. But you know, maybe it was just a little bit low. There she is. Probably should have bought a bigger bucket, and maybe should have only mixed half of it to start with, but you know. I guess this is just a day of trial and error. So let's hope that I can manage to somehow pour this into the system, and we'll see if it actually takes all the 2 gallons. So I don't know where my larger size funnel went, but I realized that what I can do is I can take this, cut it in half, and flip it upside down and have a way larger pouring point, and still something that should fit right over in there. So that's what we're gonna have to do. I'm gonna go ahead and get that cut up real quick, and then we'll start filling her up. Oh my god, it went everywhere down below. Oh, and it's leaking.
No, it's not leaking. That was just because it splashed over and it went like that.
Try one, a little bit unsuccessful. I'll probably just have to pour it a lot slower.
Yeah.
Nice and probably see how it looks in there. You want to lift it up? Ooh, we're actually getting somewhere. Alright, we'll keep going. Oh, we're overflowing. Alright. So now we gotta bleed the system. No visible bubbles coming out. I'm gonna see what I can do to get the system to bleed. I might have to run to the store and get one of those actual bleeding kits, but the way that I already just tried it is the way that I saw online, so I'm not really sure exactly what else I'm gonna have to do, but we'll figure it out and I'll update you guys as soon as I've got an answer to. So I decided to say screw it and just started the car, and it looks like it is finally bleeding itself. Now what you're seeing down there is that it's got some sort of little fill where it keeps refilling itself, but it doesn't look like it's dropping, and we're really not losing any air bubbles. So from what I can tell, it honestly looks good to go. Nothing under there. The only leaks we got is just kind of where we spilled right there, and where it was still kind of left just up under the car before. So now last time I was in the car, it gave me a little check engine light for the actual coolant level, but everything looks good. So I decided not to record my very first drive with the car after doing everything to it. Now it runs awesome, still pulls fine, runs good. If anything, it seems like it shifts a little bit quicker and just kind of idles a little bit smoother than before. So I'd say it's still a success. The reason that I didn't record is that I was still getting a coolant level low warning light. Now, I've checked it, it's still at the max line. It was maybe a little bit over the max, so I drained out some of what's in there, let it idle for a little bit longer, but I was still getting that same error code. So I'm gonna try and diagnose that, but overall, I've got the coolant flush. There's about a gallon more in the system than there was before, so that's definitely a success as far as the coolant goes. Just have to figure out the warning light, but it's a BMW, so you know, I'm sure it'll throw a warning light if you look at it wrong. So we got the spark plugs changed over, we got the coolant flushed, and honestly, I think that this will set us up for another couple of great years with the car. Just have a couple more things that I want to do to it, like I said, mainly being the transmission, and just little things here and there like air filters, you know, other things that might come up, and then the first oil change here soon as well. So you're gonna want to hit that subscribe button, because if you haven't already, you're gonna miss out on a lot of awesome things coming up in 2018. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.